Good evening, good evening, good evening. It's been a while since I have created a video, but I'm gonna get into it. But today is Saturday, January the 25th, 2025. The reason why it's been a while since I created a video is truthfully, I've been looking for a new job since I lost my previous job. And so that's the main reason why I have been focusing on that. However, I have not stopped trading, but I haven't really like creating no videos of late. But this video is gonna be real simple. This is my traditional IRA account, and you see that I have three symbols here: BITO, QDTE, and TSLY, TSLY. Now, this ETF here is the Tesla ETF. They pay a dividend, a monthly dividend. And matter of fact, I believe the dividend should be coming out next week. This week coming up, shall I say, the end of the month. BITO also pays a dividend at the end of the month. You see here which says ITM, that just means that right now I have a call that's in the money, but that doesn't expire until this Friday. But what I'm going to do is roll this out. But because I want that dividend, but that dividend should come into my account um, before this contract expires anyway. So all three of these are dividend paying stocks or ETFs, should I say. Okay, this one, QDTE, I believe is a weekly dividend, but I just bought this week. I just bought like 20 shares. So that's going to be a small one. But this one here is 100 shares, and this one here is also 100 shares that I own. Um, and what I'm going to do, like let's say now you say, well, why am I buying these ETFs? BITO happens to do with Bitcoin, so I want to exposure to Bitcoins because I do believe that that's going to be the future of I believe in Bitcoins in the future. Now, there's some who say that it may not survive in the future. We'll see. But I'll protect the downside so in just in the event that it doesn't survive, I don't lose my investment. I will buy insurance on this next, like in a couple of weeks actually. But and especially right now, being the markets are at all-time highs, you got to protect yourself. But the reason why I like BITO is because they pay a sweet dividend. If I click here, you'll see they have a dividend yield of about 47% annually. This is an annual dividend, and they pay about 12, almost $12 per share. So imagine if you have 100 shares, that's, you know, quite a bit of money. Let me show you. When I got my dividend last month from, because they pay a monthly dividend. So I like the idea of getting paid by the month or the week or whatever. So if I click on history, right, I'm going to click on date filter. I'll say 60 days, 30 days. Any filter, I'm going to do dividend. So my Tesla dividend came in. And look, they gave me $71.70. So I made this into my account, which means my wife pretty much got the same in her account. I thought it was going to come. But, they gave it after 5 p.m. That's what they did. Okay, okay, I see what they did. And of course, BITO paid me $111 last month. And so this month it'll be somewhere around the same, or we'll see. But again, I like the idea of getting these monthly. And see, by owning at least 100 shares, look at this, $71, $111. So if I do a calculator, get a calculator, look at this. On just dividends alone, so I do 111.3 31 plus 71.70, $183 I made in a month in dividends. Just think of it that way. That's pretty good. Just owning 200 shares or 100 shares of each stock or each ETF. So I pull in almost $200. Okay. So now you'll say, well, okay, well, how do I play the Bitcoin game? Well, again, if you cannot afford, let's go back to BITO. If you cannot afford 100 shares, because 100 shares, let's see. Then we click on BITO. This is a $25 stock. So 100 shares is about 2,500. Or, and really, if you have a margin account, which, and again, this is just my opinion. This is not financial advice, but this just tells you what I would do because I believe in Bitcoins, but I'm going to protect my downside in Bitcoins, but I'll get to that later. But if I want to have exposure to Bitcoins, I can get this ETF at almost $25. So, and then you only really need, so let's say I want to buy 100 shares of Bitcoin, but I prefer that someone pay me to buy it. So I'm going to give someone the right to sell me 100 shares of their Bitcoin. So if I click on this 40 cents for the 20 at the $25 strike, this just says I have the right to, I mean, I'm obligated to buy the shares if it drops below $40. I mean, $25. I'm sorry. So all I really need is $2,400, okay, to buy another 100 shares. And I got the option buying power of 3,800. So I have enough to buy another 100 shares. But, or if let's say you don't want to deal with the options right now, let's say I just want to own the stock, then what I'll do is just click right here on this ask. And I can buy 100 shares that way. Okay, click review and send. And order will begin working during the next valid session. And I will spend about $2,600. But let's say I can't afford, I don't have $2,600. Okay, let's just say I have less than 1,000. Well, then instead of buying, let me edit this 100 shares of stock, try buying 20 shares. And that's how you can get less than 100. You only got to pay $518 to get to own 20 shares of stock, and you will still get almost a dollar, almost $12 per share in dividend. Or well, that's an annual. So if you do it monthly, let's see what it would cost you monthly. 11.95 divided by 12. A dollar. So you'll get about a dollar per share. You get about a dollar per share, so you get $20. So look, you spend about 500. Oh, so look, you spend about $500 and you get at least $20 back each month in dividends. Okay, and if you do the math, $20, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 80, 200, you would get almost half your investment back in a year. Well, if you think about it, in just dividends alone. And if the shares go higher, you just create, you're making even more money. Now you would say, okay, Jermaine, but let's say, so how do I protect my 20 shares of stock? Well, then now you're going to need to use options to do so, because now you have to buy insurance, but then now you're going to pay a little extra, but that's okay. You might have to pay $30 or $40 or whatever amount, but that's okay. The goal is you want to protect your downside. The upside take care of itself, and you just keep collecting those monthly dividends. This is what I'm doing right now in Bitcoins with BITO, BITO. Um, I'm not going to buy another 100 shares right now, because you always want to keep some capital aside. Besides, anyway, yeah, excuse me. Hmm. See, right now I'm obligated to sell my shares at $24, but what I'm going to do is roll this obligation. See where it says right here 100? This is technically where I bought the shares at. Okay, so I bought the shares at 26.50, but I'm obligated to sell it at 24. So you would say, wait a minute, Jermaine, if you bought the shares at 26.50, but you sell it at 24, you're taking a loss. And theoretically, that would be the case. However, don't forget, I collected that dividend last month. Okay, so now if you add that dividend to my cost basis, it reduced my cost basis down. And then I got another dividend coming in this week. So between those two dividends, it'll be below $24. So in essence, I'll still make a profit even if I had to sell my shares at $24. So you say, okay, how did that work? Okay, so let's say I own the shares at 26.50. I bought the shares here at 26.50, right? Minus uh, $1.11 is 25.39. And remember, I'm obligated to sell the stock at 24. And let's say I collect another dollar, which is 24.39. So that means I will be out 39 cents. I would be losing 39 cents. But that's not actually the case, because why? When I got into Bitcoin, I sold some put options as well as a call credit spread. But basically, I collected some money to get into the shares. So technically, I am profitable in these shares. So even though the platform might say I bought the shares at 26.50, that's not my true cost basis. So I'm actually in a good position right now. That right now, if I had to sell my shares at 24, I'm profitable, even without the dividend coming in this week. But I'm going to get that dividend coming in this week. So I'm going to move this out later on down the road, this covered call. That's just another dividend while I'm waiting, and I'm going to just keep collecting a monthly dividend on this. But worst case, I could always just sell the shares or just sell another in the money here to the put side and basically buy another 100 shares of the stock as I get rid of the 100 shares that I currently own. So I got so many different ways I can play this. But the simplest way, if you just want to own shares of BITO and keep everything real simple and collect that monthly dividend, which I like, again, I'm not giving financial advice, but I'm just telling you, this is what I'm doing. Just click on this ask or to buy, And then you just determine how many shares you could afford to buy. I'd like to buy at least 100, but there are times like here in this position here, QDTDTE, I own only 20 shares of stock. Now, technically, I could have bought 100 shares of this stock, or this ETF, should I say, but it would tie up all my capital, and I don't like all my capital being tied up because this is not a margin account. This is an IRA account, and because this is an IRA account, I don't get margin. So technically, it's really just basically a glorified cash account. But the thing is, for this one, this is a traditional IRA. So that means I don't pay taxes until I start the withdrawal after my retirement and all that stuff. So that's when I start getting taxed on this. But right now, I'm not paying no taxes. So I'm getting all these dividends tax free because I'm using an IRA account. Okay. And so this is just another smart way of doing things, especially if you're not retiring right now, but you're just accumulating all these dividends. So when QDTDTE pays me another dividend, hey, so I'm going to get another dividend. Now, this is going to be the smaller one because it's only got 20 shares, but you'll see what is happening. I'm just collecting a whole bunch of dividend and I'm not paying no taxes on it because again, this is in a retirement account. So this is perfect. I want to, if you like what you're seeing, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you think. I will talk to you later. Oh, by the way, the brokerage house that I recommend, and this is the one I use, is Tasty Trade. They're my favorite because why? I can do the most with the least. They're very flexible in what they allow me to do. The other brokerage house that I recommend would be Thinkorswim, which is owned by now Charles Schwab. Used to be owned by TD Ameritrade, but Charles Schwab bought out TD Ameritrade. So those are the two I recommend. But you could do these in other brokerage houses too. If you got E Trade, um, you can even do this in Robinhood or Webull or any of those other brokerage houses. Whatever brokerage house you have, you can pretty much do the same thing in. I mean, again, it's your choice. I just prefer Tasty Trade. So again, if you like what you see, thumbs up, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think. I will talk to you later.